Hey viewers, it's a Sunday afternoon and we are here on the Bowery at the Hole. I thought it would be interesting for us to come in and take a look at an exhibition by Matthew Stone titled Neophyte. Well, I was very impressed with the show, and we've got some very advanced technological stuff going on here. I'll give you a little bit of the press release. Newly planted, the evocative etymology of the word neophyte means someone entirely new to a subject, skill, or calling. By photographing paint strokes made on glass and working in various 3D software, the artist is able to sculpt bodies together in 3 dimensions using layers of these painted marks. Stone's figures inhabit a shared world defined by a gray infinity floor, proliferating petals of paint, and raw linen void as backdrop. Okay, so that's kind of a quick explanation. The figures maintain a consistent scale across different size canvases. All works are hung at a height that aligns with the same gray floor, making the show a series of windows into a universe that exists beyond the walls of the gallery. Some of the works capture different angles of the same figures, allowing the viewer to discover and compress different vantage points. Well, so much for the press release. I thought the work was interesting for a couple of reasons. One is that we've been looking at a lot of work recently that involves the mixture of digital printing or some kind of mechanical production of an image somehow applied then to a canvas. This piece is titled St. John's Wort, 2018 digital print on linen, 63 by 98 inches. So we saw Wade Guyton a couple of weeks ago. We saw James Hyde last week. They both work extensively with photographic images. I think the interesting and maybe provocative questions that this work is dealing with is Matthew's use of the photographed paint stroke and kind of the cachet, the trope, the psychological enclave that the idea of painting and the physical brushstroke lives in. This is titled Mutual Support, 2018. This is 98.4 by 126 inches, 2 panels. Now, we might not hit all of these paintings because there's a lot of work in the show, And a lot of it is very large, so this is basically about 8 by 12 feet. And there's also a reference to a lot of neoclassical work. These figures almost look like something you would see in the Greek pediment or a Greek sculpture. This is Touching 2018 and Touching 2. So in the explanation, they talk about how Matthew uses paint strokes that he's applied on a plate of glass and photographed, and then he lays those textures over other images of figures that he builds up in some kind of three-dimensional digital program. This is titled Lift Up. .98 by 63 inches. Yeah, this is these pieces are so loaded with various art historical references and painting references. Oh gee, getting up close. Looks like he's even maybe touched up a little bit of these things. Maybe had a little fudge in there. Okay, that makes me feel better. Also, there's a kind of a strange, what could I say, pan-humanism to the faces here. We'll just run through the project space gallery. This is titled Elderflower, 63 by 98 inches. Well, there is some great effects that Matthew gets with his Photoshop program, and yeah, I would like to see the machine that does this printing, because they really get some nice little things happening. That kind of splattered edge of that brush stroke is nice. Also, I think it's interesting that although Matthew is using a lot of very high-tech mechanical tools, that there are kind of classic things that he wants to maintain that just read as serious contemporary painting. This is titled Play 2018. It's 98 by 189 inches. So the raw canvas is very important. You know, there's so many kind of counter-indicated facts about this. You know, this what looks like a very heavy brush stroke is actually extraordinarily flat. these figures that are built up so articulately, kind of break down, and when you look closely, they almost all of them look like they're actually just shells. And in that way, they relate to some of Salvador Dali's surrealism with the kind of the exterior self. This is an interesting pairing because this figure, which is titled, I think this is Combined Effect 1 and Combined Effect 2, these are like the same pair of figures, just seen from different angles. Yeah, it is. It's kind of interesting to ponder that if you have the technology that you can create any kind of image that you want, and you want to be seen as a carrying on contemporary painting at a high level and at a, I won't say avant-garde, but I would say a cutting-edge level, that you would actually go back to the most classic academic type of imagery. And I think it's also kind of fun, you know, Matthew throws in a little squiggles here on the edges just to kind of throw the whole idea of these as just plain digital photography, kind of throws that into a little questionable realm. Grounding. That's an impressive wall of 3 large figures. This is titled Thinking About Thinking. 23 by 19. Still. Well, as I said, I was thinking about the kind of computer programs that you would use in being able to create just about any kind of image that you want. Not even having to touch the canvas or even have real models. You can simulate all of this stuff. I'm also thinking that you could plug in and use various forms of computer programs to decide what your demographic base for your potential market is. And you could basically let the computers design everything according to marketing research and social media information. This is titled Enchanted Vulnerability, 98 by 63. Yeah, somehow I get a reading kind of Tiepolo meets Francis Bacon, maybe, somewhere out in the virtual world. It's titled Standing, 98 by 63. I've also got a piece here in the press release where they talk about Matthew using flower essences and him having, I guess, hundreds of bottles of flower essences that were produced in London and here in New York. And the flowers were taken from Thompson Square Park. Maybe I should splice in some of the the wildlife from Thompson Square Park. I go by there almost every day. This is titled Support. So good, we've got kind of an equestrian study here. Again, that's a very classic theme. It's a diptych that's 98 by 126, so that's 8 by 10 feet. That's big. I do kind of like just the abstract shapes that he's silhouetted against this raw linen. And I guess that linen actually looks like maybe it's got a little layer of matte medium over the top. This is At Ease. Well, if I was to see a painter that could come in and make these kinds of swooping brush strokes, I would say that they were very facile and kind of masters of the stroke. I don't know what I would say about a photographer who could just basically cut out these forms and kind of collage them together. I also would be fascinated to know exactly how much of these models he had to create from real people. It's titled Kindly, digital print on linen, 98 by 63. And I think, yeah, he's gone to a lot of trouble to articulate his hands. They all seem to be pretty well defined and detailed. James Kalm reporting on Matthew Stone Neophyte here at the Hole 312 Bowery. You can like this, share it, and subscribe. You can leave your suggestions, thoughts, critiques, reviews, ideas below. And as always, please help me thank Kate. Thank you, Kate. Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Thank you.